Okay, so hey guys, and welcome back to another Sport This Week video. In today's video I'm going to be speaking about tennis, basketball, ice hockey, darts, NFL, UFC, boxing, cricket, and yeah, that's all the news. If you're new around here though and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you're doing like video, and let's get straight into it. So, I'm going to start off with the tennis news this week, where it was the Netherlands Open. Tsitsipas lost 2-0 vs Glasspool and Heliovara. Zverev won 2-0 vs Kwon. Tsitsipas won 2-0 vs Rusevori. Medvedev won 2-0 vs Davidovic Fokina. And it was also the Qatar Open, where Sakari won 2-0 vs Alexandrova. Swiatek won 2-0 vs Collins. Zverev lost 2-1 vs Griekspoor. It was also the Argentina Open, where Alcaraz won 2-1 vs Gere. Medvedev won 2-0 vs Van der Zandschulp. Sakari won 2-1 vs Garcia. Tsitsipas lost 2-0 vs Sinner. Sakari lost 2-1 vs Pegula. Medvedev won 2-0 vs Olga Aliassime. Swiatek won 2-0 vs Kurdametova. Alcaraz won 2-0 vs Lajovic. Medvedev won 2-0 vs Dimitrov. Swiatek won 2-0 vs Pegula to win the women's singles Qatar Open. Alcaraz won 2-0 vs Zapata Miralles. It was also the Dubai Open, where Samsonova won 2-1 vs Bedoza. Dodij and Krajic won 2-1 versus Bopana and Ebden to win the men's doubles Netherlands Open. Medvedev won 2-1 versus Sinner to win the men's singles Netherlands Open, and Alcaraz won 2-0 versus Norrie to win the men's singles Argentina Open. And that was all the tennis news. I hope that makes sense. A lot of different competitions going on this week, but that is all of it for this week. Moving on now to the basketball news. Heat lost 112 to 118 versus Nuggets. Lakers lost 127 to 115 versus Blazers. Warriors won 135 to 126 versus Wizards. Celtics lost 131 to 125 versus Bucks. Warriors lost 134 to 124 versus Clippers. Heat lost 116 to 105 versus Nets. Celtics won 127 to 109 versus Pistons, and Lakers won 120 to 102 versus Pelicans. And that is all the basketball news. Moving on now to the ice hockey news. Red Wings won 6-1 versus Canucks. Canadiens won 4-0 versus Blackhawks. Bruins won 3-2 vs Stars. Maple Leafs won 5-2 vs Blackhawks. Red Wings won 5-4 vs Oilers. Canadiens lost 6-2 vs Hurricanes. Bruins won 5-0 vs Predators. Red Wings won 5-2 vs Flames. Bruins won 6-2 vs Islanders. Maple Leafs won 5-1 vs Canadiens. Red Wings lost 4-2 vs Kraken. Maple Leafs are trading O'Reilly, Asiari and Pillar for Abramov, Gaudette, a 2023 first round pick, a 2023 third round pick, and a 2024 second round pick. Rangers are trading Moat for Gautier and a 2023 seventh round pick. And Maple Leafs lost 5-3 versus Blackhawks. And that is all the ice hockey news. Moving on now to the darts news. Van Gerwen lost 6-5 versus Aspinall. Wright lost 6-4 versus Van der Berg. Smith won 6-3 versus Price. Smith won 6-5 versus Clayton. Smith won 6-4 versus Van der Berg. It was championship, where Bryce lost to 3-0 versus Hugh Brecht. And that is all the darts news. Moving on now to the NFL news. Chiefs won 38-35 versus Eagles to win the Super Bowl. If you're in American times, that was last week, but for English times, that ended at the start of this week. So I thought I'd mention it this week, and what a great event and what a great game. And credit to Chiefs. A lot of people were kind of writing them off. I was writing them off because I thought Eagles have been too dominant this season. But Chiefs' defense pulled through when needed and just showed their best ability. And a credit to them. And what a great show overall, as always a Super Bowl is. And yeah, big congratulations. Colts are hiring Steichin. Raiders release Carr, and Cardinals hire Gannon. And that is all the NFL news. Moving on now to cricket news. West Indies won by 4 runs versus Zimbabwe. India won by 6 wickets versus Australia. England won by 267 runs versus New Zealand. And that is all the cricket news. Moving on now to the football news. Warnock is the new Huddersfield manager. He's back in the sport again, so you love to see. Liverpool won 2-0 vs Everton. Bayern won 1-0 vs PSG. Milan won 1-0 vs Spurs. Man City won 3-1 vs Arsenal. Benfica won 2-0 vs Bruges. Dortmund won 1-0 vs Chelsea. Barcelona drew 2-2 vs Man U. Donetsk won 2-1 vs Nantes. Sporting CP drew 1-1 vs Midtjylland. Monaco won 3-2 vs Leverkusen. Sevilla won 3-0 vs PSV. Qarabag won 1-0 vs Ghent. Trabzonspor won 1-0 vs Basel. Bodo Glimt drew at 0-0 versus Lecce. Fiorentina won 4-0 versus Braga. Lazio won 1-0 versus Cluj. Larnaca won 1-0 versus Dnipro 1. Partizan won 1-0 versus Sheriff. Ludogorets won 1-0 versus Anderlecht. Napoli won 2-0 versus Sassuolo. Ailing has signed a new year-long contract with Leeds. Brentford drew 1-1 versus Palace. Fulham won 1-0 versus Brighton. Southampton won 1-0 versus Chelsea. Everton won 1-0 versus Leeds. Forest drew 1-1 versus Man City. Bournemouth won 1-0 versus Wolves. Arsenal won 4-2 versus Villa. Liverpool won 2-0 versus Newcastle. Inter won 3-1 versus Udinese. Dortmund won 4-1 versus Hertha. Man U won 3-0 versus Leicester. PSG won 4-3 versus Lille. Spurs won 2-0 versus West Ham. England won 4-0 versus South Korea. England won 2-1 versus Italy. Atsu has unfortunately passed, aged 31, with everything that's going on in Turkey. I'm not going to speak too much about that kind of side of things, but it is a real shame to see a player go, and of course what's going on there is a tragedy. What's going on, and yeah, it's a real shame, especially at the young age of what he was. So I hope my thoughts and prayers are with his family, and I hope they're all good in this time. But yeah, we'll now move on to Roma, won 1-0 versus Verona, and Mönchengladbach won 3-2 versus Bayern, and that is all the football news. Moving on now to the boxing news. McCann, Noakes, Listonali, Kadua will fight on the 15th of April. Thompson will fight Watkins on the 22nd of April. Salah will fight Evil Hero on the 26th of February. Stan Nis will fight Ortiz Jr. on the 29th of April. Zanetti has joined Kingpin. Berlanga has joined Matchroom. Ramos versus Spencer. Colbert versus Valenzuela. And Crowley versus Ramos will fight on the 25th of March. Simpson has joined Boxer. Makabu versus Jack. Almayouf versus Martinez. Kaysen versus Jafarov. San Marine versus Simeon. Hamada versus Plange. Al Madrashi versus Kwon Sa, and Al Niami versus Okaija will fight on the 26th of February. Yumbi won via TKO in round 1 versus Krajicki. Barney Smith won via KO in round 1 versus Lara. Bork won via TKO in round 3 versus Martinez. Mohammed won via points versus Rodriguez. Fail won via points versus Ambomo. Turner won via TKO in round 7 versus Armas to remain WBC International Silver Super Lightweight Champion. Chamberlain won via KO in round 5 versus Lenti to remain IBF European Lightweight Champion. Adelaide won via TKO in round 2 versus Bezos to become WBO World European Heavyweight Champion. Diaz Jr. will fight Gester on the 18th of March. Simpson will fight on the 25th of March. Lopez won via KO in round 1 versus Walters Jr. Carrillo won via TKO in round 4 versus Burwell. Scobie won via TKO in round 2 versus Manu. Vasquez won via split decision versus Lopez. Holmes Jr. won via split decision versus Villarreal. Bowen won via KO in round 1 versus Gomez. Maxwell won via points versus Cooper. Boston won via TKO in round 7 versus Kramer. Conway won via points versus Silva. Ruiz won via unanimous decision versus Yafai. Clark won via unanimous decision versus Duffus. Cully won via TKO in round 2 versus Flores to become WBA Intercontinental Lightweight Champion. Smith won via unanimous decision versus Allington to remain British Super Lightweight Champion. Lara won via TKO in round 7 versus Wood to become WBA World Featherweight Champion, which I didn't predict right, but I mean it was a very good fight. Wood looked dominant throughout pretty much all of it, and then all of a sudden that Lara shot, that power he holds is crazy. And he managed to get him out of there like that. And I do think, to be fair, it is a fair stoppage, and I respect to his corner because he didn't look fully on. And I mean, if he would have carried on, I think Lara's power, just 1 or 2 more punches, would definitely have got him out of there. But yeah, big congratulations to Lara, and hopefully now for Wood, that Warrington fight is where it should be at, and that should be the fight that happens. We'll have to wait and see. Montgomery won via unanimous decision versus Olivas. Novitsky won via KO in round 1 versus Costa. Stevens won via stoppage in round 2 versus Gonzalez. Sandoval won via KO in round 2 versus Ortiz. Mosley Jr. won via unanimous decision versus Lozano. And Neri won via KO in round 11 versus Hovhannissian, which I did predict right. And what a great fight that was, as kind of everybody expected. And now that sets up the big next fight for Neri for the winner of Inoue versus Fulton Jr. And hopefully that fight does end up happening as well. And now we'll move on to the final sport, which is the UFC news. And the news this week Porga won via decision versus Wright. Blanchfield won via submission in round 2 versus Andrade. And Garbrandt will fight Jones on the 4th of March. And that is it for today's video. Hope you did enjoy it. Like the video if you didn't, like the video, subscribe if you're new, and thanks for watching.